Welcome to Robert Bellissimo at the Movies. This is a YouTube video podcast where I explore storytelling on film, as well as interviews with industry professionals who work in film, television, theater, among other areas of the arts. Today I'm doing a video that's a little different. I wish it was a movie review, but the problems run so deep in the film and television industry right now and affect people who work in film and television from other countries, not just in Hollywood and Toronto, where I'm from in Toronto. We are deeply affected by the SAG-AFTRA strike, and we've had a similar problem with a commercial lockout for the last year, where performers who are members of ACTRA, which is the Film, Television, and Commercial and Radio Union, have been illegally locked out of work because they want to slash our rates, even though corporations are making record profits. And so we see these similar issues now in Hollywood with the WGA strike, with the writers' strike, with the issues now with royalties and how the industry has changed so much because of streaming. And there are so many issues. And one thing that popped out that really, really bothered me, and a lot of it bothers me, it all bothers me, but really as an actor myself really bothers me, is that they want to have people who do background work come in now and use AI to get scanned and use their image and likeness to be a background performer for eternity. So you'll get paid to go in for that one day, and they can use your image in any film, any television show, or what have you, for forever. And you just get the paid to go in and do this and never get paid again. The background performers are the very often people who don't get treated the best in film and television in the industry. And I know this myself because I've been doing it ongoing for a number of years. As a Toronto actor, we all wear our share of hats, and I've done a lot of things. I've taught, I teach acting. I've been teaching acting for a number of years. I'm an actor. I've stage managed plays. I've directed theater. I've directed short films. I've written. I've produced. I've worked as an assistant director. I've done all kinds of things, as well as being a host to this podcast. And to see this, of course, be one of the things that they want to do and screw people over and ruin people's lives without thinking anything other than their own profits. It's disgusting. It's disgraceful. These people, heads of the CEOs and the heads of these companies are completely out of touch. And if it wasn't for background work all of these years, I already have another part-time job on top of acting, on top of teaching, and I was doing 3-4 commercials a month. Sometimes you'd get upgraded, and you'd get paid. You get paid well, and deservedly so. You can make your rent in a few days, 2 or 3 days, or less sometimes. And now this would be wiped away, so the person who, a lot of actors who do it, they do it to sustain their career. And so if you wipe that away, you can't sustain people in the industry. They're going to have to go and do something entirely different. Some people start off by doing it and then don't do it later. And some people do it regularly and they switch back and forth between acting and being a background performer. But, it's an essential job. If you take out the background, let's say it's a restaurant scene, a hospital scene, even though people are not necessarily conscious of looking at people in the background, if you take it out, the scene suddenly doesn't make sense. It's, you have a hospital scene and there's no nurses in the background or doctors or patients. It will look like something out of the first season of The Walking Dead. I mean, it'll be empty. It'll be like, it'll totally change the meaning of the scene. It's an essential part, and people who do it work really hard at it, because you have to be available around the clock at a drop of a hat. You don't know what time you're going to be there. You don't know what time you're going to leave. You have to be ready at a moment's notice all day. Wardrobe fittings. There's a lot of juggling and so much, I'm not saying it's the hardest job in the world, but it relies on people who take it seriously and are professional and show up on time and listen and pay attention and do a good job. And, I've seen people get treated badly on set. It's a job that people often talk down about and insult. And, I've had good experiences, but, I've seen bad things too. I've seen, people get treated like absolute garbage because they're just a quote unquote background performer, and it's nothing. And, like I said, you take it out, those scenes will not make any sense. And so to now want to have people come in, get scanned, and not even think about compensating them for their image and likeness. What's next? It's the whole thing is going to be robots, and it's going to take the humanity out of it. And it's just unbelievable. So what I'm doing is, I don't really use the major streamers anyways, but for those of you who use Netflix, Disney, I would cancel, and, so on and so forth. I would cancel one subscription every week until it's resolved. Then we'll see them pay attention. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you've somewhat enjoyed this. It's usually what I say at the end of my reviews when I'm celebrating cinema, but this is a different video. So thank you for listening, and what should I say? Subscribe? Sure, subscribe. It just feels weird to ask people to subscribe at the end of this. Thank you.